Hi everyone, it's Linnea. I have a really quick card tutorial to share with you today, and I wanted to use some of the LDRS Creative February release that are geared more towards Easter and just kind of show you how to use them for a spring card. So I'm going to start here with the wood grain background stamp, and this was a previously released item. And I love this background stamp. I think it's great for masculine cards or just to add a bit of texture. But I wanted to show you how you can kind of step up some background stamps very easily. My favorite way to do that is with heat embossing. So I'm using my stamping tool. I put that wood grain stamp and mounted that on the lid. And then I took a piece of white cardstock, added just tiny bits of adhesive to the back. Then I lined that up on my background stamp and closed my stamping tool the reverse way. So I closed the back rather than the lid. And that's going to adhere my cardstock onto my stamping platform, allowing me to stamp that background stamp in the exact place I want it to be. I stamped that with the LDRS Creative Clear Watermark ink, and then I added some gold embossing powder, and I'm just going to heat set this panel. And depending on how you look at it, it looks like it's just stamped with brown ink, but when you tilt that in the light, you see the shine from the embossing powder. I'm going to finish off this card quite simply because I just wanted to make this a simple card and kind of have the background shine. I'm using the Finest Blooms Pirouette stamp set, and I have that wreath shape. And then I also grabbed some of the cute little bunnies, and I wanted the bunnies to have strawberries. There are little carrots and such in the Finest Blooms Pirouette, but I thought carrots were kind of a little too Eastery, and I wanted to show you how you can stretch these stamps and use them not just for Easter. So I grabbed the strawberries from the Easter Pirouette stamp set. I'm going to use some Prickly Pear Perfection ink and stamp that wreath, and then Raven Hybrid ink and stamp the two strawberries and the two bunnies. I'm going to do some very quick alcohol marker coloring here. I have some W markers, so I'm starting with W4 and just adding some shadows. Then I'll move on to W2, and then I have W0 as well. And I'll blend that out with some colorless blender if I need to. I prefer to color from dark to light, but you can color however you want. I'm going to add a little bit of pink to the ears, and I'll add some to their cheeks as well. And I'm going to color the strawberries with some pinky reds. Now I started here with some just regular pinks, and I ended up going in with a red marker and blending it out with one of the pinks, so that kind of added that strawberry pinkish red color that I wanted. I'm going to grab the coordinating dies from both the Finest Blooms Pirouette and the Easter Pirouette stamp set, line them up, add it with some low-tack tape, and then pop out all of these perfectly die-cut images ready for my card. I wanted to add a bit of stitching to my card, so I'm using the A2 Stitched Layered Card Toppers die set. It's one of the most used die sets in my stash, and I'm going to just adhere that second largest die with some temporary adhesive, run that through my die cutting machine, and then I will also use the largest die on a plain piece of white cardstock so that I can layer these together. I already have an idea of how I want this card to be laid out, but once I have all of my pieces done, this is where I kind of finalize the idea in my head. So I'm going to take all those pieces, lay them out onto my background, and figure out exactly where I want them to go. Then I grabbed a sentiment strip, and I used the Happy Me, Happy You stamp set, and I already had some gold embossed strips with my stamp set. When I stamp these, you get a bunch of sentiments, and so I just keep the extras and put them in the back of my stamp pocket. So I grabbed one of those gold heat embossed images and added it at the bottom of my cute little bunny scene. Here's a little trick for when you're adding a panel with foam tape. I'm not very good at eyeballing and adding things straight, so I like to keep most of the backer on and just kind of peel off one at a time. Peel back a little bit and line it up, and then stick that edge down, and then peel them all off, and I'll have a perfectly centered panel. That's it. I hope you enjoyed this card. Thank you guys so much for watching. I have listed and linked all of the LDRS creative products that I used on this card in the video description below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye!